Welcome Trinidad and Tobago to our News 4 report, a product of the Government Information Services Limited and the Ministry of Communications. I'm Nicola Barito. Let's take a look at the headlines. Ex-prisoners will now have a chance to start their own business upon reintroduction into society. The National Security Minister announces government's latest initiative to ensure a safer nation. And the differently able to become empowered, the latest initiative facilitated by the Ministry of the People and Social Development. Thank you for joining us. National Security Minister the Honorable Jack Warner has announced government's latest initiative to ensure a safer nation. He spoke at the weekly post-cabinet media briefing.
In the government's fight against crime, mechanisms have been put in place to ensure that the purchase of CCTV cameras and digital video recording equipment by homeowners and for community and business security would be exempted from value-added tax. This was revealed by National Security Minister the Honorable Jack Warner at Thursday's post-cabinet news briefing.
This morning, the cabinet took a formal decision to remove value-added tax, VAT, and import duty on closed-circuit television, CCTV camera systems. And I want to say, as a short background to this, that you had a team of officials of the Ministries of National Security, Trade, Industry and Investment, and Finance and the Economy. These three ministries got together with our technical officials and we agreed to bring a note to Cabinet, which Cabinet accepted this morning.
Minister Warner explains the relevant amendments to facilitate this move.
The note to Cabinet called for the amendment to the Customs Act, Chapter 7801, to include a provision for exemption of customs duty on CCTV systems based on standards approved by the Ministry and admitted by the Comptroller. We also agreed to amend the second schedule of the VAT 1989 Act to include CCTV camera systems. And thirdly, to approach the Secretary General of CARICOM for relevant amendment to be made to the schedule of exemptics in the Common External Tariff Certification by the TT Bureau of Standards.
The Honourable Minister admitted that the loss of several millions of dollars in custom duties and VAT will be foregone, but he sees the general benefit of greater security to far outweigh the consequences. He says for the equipment to be exempted from such duties and fees, it must meet certain criteria that would be published. Minister Warner says the Attorney General has to make the relevant legislative amendments to the VAT before it comes into effect next week. He took the opportunity to update the public on the current progress of the installation of CCTV cameras across the country.
We have completed Tobago, CCTV. We have completed Port of Spain. We have faced some problems in Port of Spain, especially in the Beetham Gardens area, where several persons unknown have damaged several cameras. We have them, of course, on screen, and we have found a creative way to put back these cameras so that damage will be minimized. Consequently, it is my hope that in shortest possible time, we shall have this country fully covered so that people can have additional security.
Nikolai Edwards, News 4.
Ex-prisoners will now have a chance at starting their own business upon their reintroduction into society. This as the Ministry of the People and Social Development has joined in providing a grant of $15,000 to develop their own business.
Prisoners soon to be reintroduced into society will now have a chance to participate in a pre-release resettlement program, which aims at making them entrepreneurs upon release. It's part of restorative justice the Ministry of National Security is focused on introducing into the nation's penal system, which pushes healing and correction as opposed to the traditional retributive system which seeks punishment. However, the Ministry of the People is taking this a step further by providing prisoners the support needed to start their own business through a poverty reduction grant of $15,000. The program is mainly as a result of the partnership and drive emanating from Vision on a Mission founder Wayne Chance. He took the chance to praise the support given to ex-prisoners and urged them to become part of this change.
This year is a very exciting year for you. As we start the program next week, please the Lord, you will discover the opportunities that we have in store for you. So we encourage you to register in the program, and you will have no regrets.
Acting Commissioner of Prisons Olson Sandy says such a program aimed to assist in making a positive impact on these lives.
This focuses on one of 5 strategic objectives of the prison service, that is restoration. So that inmates upon their release from prison have the necessary tools to make a positive contribution to society and to ultimately refrain from criminal activity.
One former inmate who now holds a position as project coordinator at the Citizen Security Program at the Ministry of National Security, Gary Grant, urged current prisoners to keep focused on the road to recovery.
I remember when I came out of prison that I didn't have money, didn't have finances, trying to see about. Temptation coming, people calling me to come and go on robberies. But I said no because I knew what the vision was. Before we even came out here as Vision on Mission, we sat in a prison cell, we sat in the exercise yard, and we spoke about all that Vision on Mission would be. And today what you are seeing here is what we already saw, even whilst as prisoners. So you could dream too. Whatever you want to become, dream about it whilst in prison. Think about it. And then when you come on the outside, it's just to demonstrate and to walk in it.
Minister of the People and Social Development, Dr. Glenn Ramadar Singh, describes the grant as a pathway to a second chance.
The release of incarcerated persons, those who have been convicted of crimes, we need to acknowledge that this is an opportunity. It is not a revolving door, but rather a one-way, exit-only passage to a new way of life.
The resettlement program is one of the many programs the prison service has instituted into the penal system as part of its rehabilitative efforts. Kimberly Ramkalawan, News 4.
Meanwhile, Trinidad and Tobago is moving toward a society that makes provisions for its differently abled to become empowered. The latest initiative, facilitated by the Ministry of the People and Social Development, will see the hearing impaired acquire the skills to become successful entrepreneurs.
It is interesting to know that in this country, there are several institutions offering business and entrepreneurship classes, but none is specifically geared to include the deaf. This says a lot about where we are as a country when it comes to inclusiveness and accessibility, not just for the deaf, but for persons with disabilities.
The Ministry of the People and Social Development continues to place great emphasis on poverty reduction and assisting the differently abled. It is for this reason that the Ministry of the People and Social Development, through its Poverty Reduction Program and in collaboration with Trinidad and Tobago's hearing impaired stakeholders, launched a business training program to assist the hearing impaired. Enterprise Hub Limited plays a crucial role in the facilitation of the program, and Director Mr. Ashley Mitchell noted some of the benefits which were to be derived.
This training program is a very intensive one that covers the fundamentals of marketing, business planning, record keeping, cash management, access to finance, and those life skills that are key to being successful entrepreneurs. The participants have not been daunted despite that intensity. Indeed, they have all been keen to get stuck into the material and to support each other along the way.
He says peer training is a major feature of the training methodology, and the program has created a collaborative environment. This, he notes, facilitates the dynamic exchange of ideas and tacit knowledge among the participants, further empowering them in the process. The inaugural program accommodated 27 persons for a 5-day period, which Minister of the People and Social Development, Dr. the Honorable Glenn Ramadar Singh, says is the right push for many.
This course here today will challenge you, all 27 of you, in poverty reduction, in micro-enterprise and training. We are going to give you a chance. We are going to give you the key, but there are many doors for you to open with that key. Some, the key will fit smoothly. Some, you will have to push the door. And some, you will have to push yourselves. And there is where you will make the difference. You will have training in life skills for business, business planning, how to finance micro business, how to market your micro business, record keeping. And I am told that some of you have gotten off the marks already. We just need to give you a little fuel.
The Honourable Minister is calling on corporate Trinidad and Tobago to focus greater attention on assisting the most vulnerable in society. Meanwhile, Minister of State in the Ministry of the People and Social Development, the Honourable Vanilla Allen Toppin, hopes to see sign language taught in schools throughout Trinidad and Tobago, and that it would be a trend for news programs to recruit signers to interpret the news. Nikolai Edwards, News 4.
The number of students graduating from the Youth Training and Employment Partnership Program, YTEP, continues to grow. This as the program celebrates 25 years of impacting lives in this country and continues to outline ways in which it can outreach youths in the nation. During its Cycle 3 graduation, the ceremony recognized the excellence its students continue to achieve.
1,600 persons will enter the world of work as they are the latest to graduate from the YTEP program Cycle 37. The program is responsible for providing skills training in areas ranging from computer repairs to desktop publishing, fluid hydraulics, tilapia production and cosmetology, just to name a few. Angela Sinisui-Gervais, Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Tertiary Education and Skills Training, says the program sees an annual turnover in its students in the thousands.
To further develop the educational landscape of Trinidad and Tobago, we have given special focus to the TVET sector. It is important that our people have access to vocational training which matches the expertise required by our local companies. It is also important that the nation's youth are able to learn the craft and skills that generate sustainable self-employment and further societal development.
But to Chief Executive Officer Nigel Forgini, the program is more than skills training for at-risk youth, as he outlines current programs as equipping trainees with life skills and plans to introduce new programs tailored for the disabled and those in need of outreach.
We recently launched the Joy of Living program as an intervention to suicide. The program primarily promotes strategies and avenues for individuals to build positive lifestyles and restore self-esteem. In this, our 25th anniversary year, YTEP would launch an additional mobile training unit geared towards persons who are differently abled. We will establish a digital arts academy at Waterloo Training Center and will expand its full-time and part-time centers to include more communities nationwide. Already, YTEP has 7 full-time centers, 20 part-time centers, 50 community-based projects, and 50 training providers from the retraining department, thus giving us a wide reach across the nation.
Meanwhile, feature speaker at this year's graduation, Garth Thomas, says excellence achieved among its citizens have the potential to position this country on the path towards greatness.
I have a dream that one day every Trinbagonian will wake up in the morning with a commitment to outdo his last best performance, to do better today than he or she did yesterday. Listen to me. The day that that happens, we will take leadership of the world.
This year saw Ruben Phillips as its recipient of the Certified Welders and Fabricators Program Trainee of the Year Award for his all-round demonstration of outstanding performance, participation and team skills, while Chanel Etienne received the Trinidad and Tobago World Skills winner in advanced hairdressing. She will later represent this country in Germany in the international version of the competition. Kimberly Ramkalawan, News 4.
When we come back, Women and Girls in Sport Festival. The Ministry of Sport will host its 8th annual, scheduled for Saturday, 13th April. That should be the 8th annual Women in Girls Sport Festival and is scheduled for Saturday, 13th April at the Eastern Regional Sport Complex and Etihad Grounds in Tacarigua. Sporting categories for this event will include netball, football, hockey, cricket, basketball, table tennis, a 5K and many more fun activities. This year, the event will pay tribute to one of our sporting heroes. Wayne Cunningham has more.
The Women and Girls in Sport Festival is a program carried out annually by the Ministry of Sport in recognition of the Brighton Declaration on Women and Sport. Diane Rampadara, Planning Officer at the Ministry of Sport, told us more about the declaration.
In May 1994, the Women's Sport and Challenge of Change Conference, which took place in Brighton, England, brought together key decision makers to address various issues. One of them included the issue of gender inequality and the challenges faced by women and girls in their participation and involvement in sport. One of the key outcomes of this conference was the development of the Brighton Declaration, which outlines a comprehensive set of guiding principles for the development of increased opportunities for women and girls to participate in sport. Some of these key principles which were developed include equity and equality in sport, total participation in sport, provision of facilities, high-performance sport, leadership in sport, education, training and development in sport.
Ruth Martian is Deputy Director of Sport and Physical Education at the Ministry, and she outlined what we can expect at the festival.
This Women and Girls in Sports Festival is really about us at the Ministry here providing an avenue for fun and games. It targets all age groups, is about fun and games. We don't want the public to feel it's about the elite or clubs that are already in training. It's about, it's community-based where people could just come out and have fun. At those same games, we have scouts. A lot of the coordinators that coordinate the various sporting disciplines are aligned to national teams, so there's also opportunities for persons who within various sporting disciplines to be seen, the unseen to be seen, in other words.
National sporting organizations also have to play their part in the ongoing drive for greater participation by females.
We want to encourage the NSOs that from the administrative aspect of and the strategic aspect of dealing with the sport, encourage them to continue in the fight to get more women and more girls especially involved in the program, because there's a significant drop in females participating in sport on the whole. And it really, the foundation lies within the NSOs to really create a pathway that will encourage and sell the sport in a way that it will encourage young girls to participate in the sport.
The boys and men are expected to play a vital role.
A lot of guys are the spectators on the day and they support the women, right? So in terms of not only, remember when you're looking at the promotion of sport, the spectatorship is very important. That is what helps motivate and encourage the same young girls that play in the sport, the family members, the brothers, the boyfriends, they come out and they are very supportive on the day.
This year, the event will pay tribute to Peggy Castaneda, a former Trinidad and Tobago standout in netball. Castaneda, a netball coach for 30 years under the Ministry of Sport, will retire from the ministry this year.
It's only fitting that we pay tribute to Peggy Castaneda. All right, the world of netball knows her. She is well respected in Trinidad and Tobago, not only on the field but also in the area of administration and all aspects of netball. She's well respected. And what we're trying to do is to honor in a way that is fitting to a queen of netball. Peggy is the queen of netball. All right, and give her that respect that she deserves. And I would hope that not only from the ministry angle, but the NSO angle, honor her in not only in a way that to fit into an athlete, but somebody that could continue the journey in terms of the development of the sport. Whether it is they produce some kind of Peggy Castaneda classic in her name.
The national sporting hero was humble when discussing the tribute.
Well, it's something good for me because I've been here, it's like my home, ministry for the last 30 years. And what is so funny, I started working at the Ministry of Sport. At that time was Sport, Culture and Youth Affairs on the 13th of April 1983. And the Women and Girls Sport that they are paying tribute to me, it's on the 13th of April 2013, exactly 30 years. You know, so that in itself, 13 is a special number for me. Although it's unlucky for some people, but it has been a special number. And I think it's an honor to be treated in that manner, especially from your workplace.
We'll have more from Peggy Castaneda in a subsequent newscast. Wayne Cunningham, News 4 Sports.
And Women and Girls in Sport takes place this Saturday, April 13th. While moving out of sport, Member of Parliament for Kuva South, the Honourable Rudranath Indar Singh, is urging citizens to adopt a sense of volunteerism and dedication if our culture is to grow and develop. He makes the plea as the Kuva Carnival Committee distributes prizes for Carnival 2013.
Mr. Indar Singh is commending the Kuva Carnival Committee for their dedication to ensuring a successful 2013 Carnival. The committee has held a function to award the Carnival prizes, including Kuva Kiddies Band of the Year, Traditional Mass, Parade of the Bands, Calypso Monarch, Queen Show and Juve Band competition. The Kuva South MP believes the committee has epitomized what he would like to see in all citizens, particularly those involved in culture.
This concept of volunteerism and serving from the heart and going beyond the call of duty seems to be something that we have lost in Trinidad and Tobago. We always want to know what it is in it for me if I am going to serve, or if I'm going to give my sense of input and commitment. And I've seen this sense of commitment and dedication and serving beyond the call of duty from Mr. Rajbal and his entire executive and the judges and so on. And this is what leadership is about. This is what community service is about.
Minister Indar Singh is also calling for Carnival in the region to be even grander in 2014. He suggests a grand launch to draw attention to the Kuva Carnival celebrations, which he says will inspire all stakeholders.
Ensure that Kuva has a regional launch in 2014 so as to give a sense of inspiration, not only to the committee, but to the band leaders, the masqueraders, the calypsonians, the kiddies carnival, and of course the queens who participate in the annual carnival show in Kuva, and of course the public whom in terms of crowd support, it swelled into its thousands along the southern main road in Kuva on Carnival Monday and Tuesday in giving Kuva a true sense of being part of the carnival and culture of Trinidad and Tobago.
As MP for the area, Mr. Indar Singh is fully endorsing the festivities and says he will do everything possible to raise the level of the event. He also suggests an increased focus on the steel pan in central Trinidad, which he believes is necessary.
There is the need to expand some kind of sponsorship to ensure that there is a focused steel band competition where we could attract some of the bands from outside of Kuva and in central Trinidad to ensure that we have a bright steel band, and we must competition and also to continue to give that sense of support to Kuva Joylanders and the bands of central Trinidad who continue to put central Trinidad on the cultural landscape of Trinidad and Tobago.
The Minister of State in the Ministry of Finance is urging the Kuva residents to never abandon their camaraderie. This, he says, will ensure the further development of Kuva Carnival celebrations. Gregory McBurney, News 4.
Well, that's how we wrap up this edition of our News 4 Report, a product of the Government Information Services and the Ministry of Communications. I'm Nicola Barreto. Thank you for joining us.